We got an exclusive from Reuters. Tesla retreats from next-generation gigacasting manufacturing process. Reuters is out there trying to scare Tesla stock investors again. Reuters has two sources. Supposedly, it's another sign that the electric vehicle maker is retrenching amid falling sales and rising competition. Last year, as Tesla developed a new small vehicle platform, it aimed to punch out the underbody in a single piece, which Reuters reported on last September. But Tesla has since halted the effort, opting to stick with its more proven method of casting vehicle underbodies in three pieces: 2 gigacasted front and rear sections, and a midsection made of aluminum and steel frames to store batteries, which is largely what Tesla does with the Model Y, for example. Now, Tesla's retreat from one-piece gigacasting has not been previously reported, says Reuters. They must have not paid attention to the earnings call. But if you liked what happened to Tesla after the earnings call, the stock going up 10%, click the like button. Reuters is seriously out there trying to scare investors. The decision to hold off on the potential manufacturing breakthrough marks another example of Tesla slashing short-term spending as it adjusts to falling sales and profit margins, softening EV demand globally, and intensifying competition from rival EV makers such as China's BYD. Reuters conveniently does not mention that Tesla in the Q1 earnings report beat the expectations that analysts had for automotive gross margins, and that Elon said that he thinks this year Tesla will have higher sales compared to the previous year, which is above what analysts are expecting right now. And on the earnings call, Tesla made it very clear that they are not going to build vehicles on the next generation platform right now. They are going to do it on a platform that's sort of an in between the two platforms. Reuters, though, does report that the step back on gigacasting occurred last autumn, the people said, before Tesla decided in late February to hold development of an all-new affordable vehicle, which would have been the first vehicle built with one-piece gigacasting. Tesla has not entirely abandoned the small vehicle platform it had planned for the Model 2. Instead, it will move forward in developing a self-driving robotaxi on the same platform. My first initial reaction when I saw the headline from Reuters was, are you saying that Tesla is not going to use gigacastings at all? But no, that's completely not the case. Tesla is just simply not going to use the one-piece casting. Tesla is still going to use gigacastings, and Tesla is still improving those said gigacastings. And eventually, I think Tesla will go to one-piece castings, but it will take some time. After the reports came out that Tesla laid out the entire supercharger team, Elon Musk addressed Tesla stock investors. Tesla still plans to grow the supercharger network, just at a slower pace for new locations and more focus on 100% uptime and expansion of existing locations. So clearly, Tesla is not going to stop building new superchargers. He's right-sizing the investment in superchargers to reflect the reality that EV penetration rate is slowing down. That's the part he isn't telling us things, James. Elon also replied to this comment: according to Tesla, you cannot drive any of their vehicles to Glacier National Park. There's actually a supercharger under construction which will make it possible. Someone though says, from what I've heard, active construction crews have no point of contact at Tesla any longer. Will it open? Maybe. But Elon assures everyone is definitely going to open. Sites under construction will be completed, and we will add additional superchargers anywhere where there are gaps. Troy thinks Elon's decision to fire the entire supercharger team because they weren't reducing the workforce quickly enough seems impulsive and rushed. These employees had significant experience in planning, building, and maintaining the supercharger network. By letting them go, Tesla risks losing valuable know-how that could take years to rebuild. But there's an article on Bloomberg which says the move will slow the network's growth. According to a person familiar with the division, there are already discussions about rehiring some of those impacted in order to operate the existing network and grow it at a much slower rate. While I can see Troy's point, Elon has successfully managed Tesla through big bumps before, and Walter Isaacson writes about his demon mode. Elon here is trying to make a big point. While some on executive staff are taking this seriously, most are not yet doing so, he wrote in an email to Tesla employees. So he wanted to do something radical, and I think it will work, but of course there are going to be some short-term consequences. But this is not the first time Elon Musk doing something radical like this. If you look at his history and you read Elon's biography by Walter Isaacson, you will see that Elon has done things like this many times. And of course, every time it happens, people around Elon just complain and say he's gonna be so wrong. This is bad. What are you doing? Did you lose your mind? No. this is Elon's management style. It is abrupt, yes, and it definitely offends many people, and we can see that happening right now. But this is the management style that made Tesla go up 14,000% since its IPO and 960% in the last 5 years alone. And eventually, we will see another massive Tesla stock rally, and it will be because of Elon's management style. Am I saying that this is the only way to do things? No, absolutely not. But is this the way that Elon Musk does things? Yes. So anyone who pretends that this is something that Elon Musk wouldn't do in a situation where the stakes are high, I think has not read Elon Musk's biography by Walter Isaacson, or they just don't like Elon Musk. The message Elon Musk is trying to send is we need to be absolutely hardcore about the headcount and cost reduction. If you don't follow that, even if you are in charge of the supercharging network, you gotta go. No one's safe. Some people at Tesla got complacent over time, and Elon Musk is absolutely not okay with that. And we are now finding out exactly why Elon Musk fired the entire supercharger team. Electric sources say that Elon Musk was not as frequently present at Tesla as he used to be over the last year and since his acquisition of Twitter, but that has changed over the last few weeks. Musk is now all over Tesla, or at least his presence is being felt everywhere at Tesla. Electric sources say that some of the layoffs have nothing to do with hiring inefficiencies or restructuring, but rather with Musk throwing his weight around Tesla. Two sources told Electric that Tanucci, the person who was in charge of Tesla's supercharging team, was fighting back pressure from Musk to fire a bigger percentage of her team, and the CEO decided to let go of the entire team as an example. So yeah, the message is clear. Fire as many people as I'm asking, or you and your entire team will be gone. And Electric has a rather dark take on this. I don't know if I completely agree with the theory that Musk is securing his leadership position at Tesla, but it is a viable theory. As I previously presented, the vote on his compensation package is turning into a vote of confidence in the CEO. These layoffs are useful for him on that front. A lot of the leadership is gone, with every leader leaving. There are still many leaders within Tesla. What are you talking about? Franz and Lars haven't left. But Electric writes, with every leader leaving, Musk becomes more needed at Tesla. Okay, I don't think he meant that all of the leadership has left. He just meant that those that left make Elon Musk more needed at Tesla. Also, it doesn't hurt that all these leaders are unloading their stocks, which won't be voted against him. That's a rather sinister take. And Electric writes, firing the entire team because the head was pushing back on the number of layoffs is ridiculous, especially if the plan is still to grow the network. Everyone I talked to at Tesla says that it is a complete mess. Contractors for most ongoing supercharger projects lost their point of contact at Tesla. Again, many suspect Tesla will try to rehire some of the workers fired. Tesla has hiring inefficiencies leading to layoffs, and layoffs and inefficiencies leading to new hires. It's not a good look, writes Electric. Some of this reminds me of Tesla in 2019. Now, in 2019, things were bad, but also the stock was about to rally and rally hard, and it did so. So if this is like 2019, I'm all up for it. Electric writes, things were looking pretty good in 2019, but Tesla launched a huge cost-cutting effort. We later learned that Tesla was on the verge of bankruptcy because it didn't anticipate how costly it would be to launch the Model 3 in high volume in Europe. The long transit time put a lot of financial pressure on Tesla, and the cost-cutting effort was intended to compensate for that. Musk didn't communicate to shareholders until later. But Elon Musk said that Tesla will continue expanding the supercharger network. So clearly, either Elon already has a plan to rehire some of the people, or there is another team that does take care of the superchargers. He knows what he's doing. I agree that there will be some inefficiencies here, but I think these inefficiencies are worth having because it lets us overcome even bigger inefficiencies with some of the executive staff feeling a bit too comfortable. And Chicken Genius feels like buying Tesla stock tonight. He started to understand how toxic the cult is. There are obvious good ones like James Melmel. Oh, that's funny. He also likes Troy and Jason. I wonder if he will actually follow through. Probably not. I don't expect him to buy Tesla stock. But lately he has been commenting some bullish things about Tesla, it seems like. This is a post from about a week ago. He was liking what he was seeing back then. I don't think he bought anything, though. Elon Musk addressed the controversy, why he's no longer following Sawyer Merritt and Omar. Don't post leaks of confidential information and expect me to follow. It was the email where Elon said, while some on executive staff are taking this seriously, most are not yet doing so. Now, that email was already leaked by The Information. So Sawyer and Omar only amplified the message, they did not leak it. But the message is clear and it has been received. If you want to be on Elon's good side, never, ever, ever post any leaked information about Tesla, especially emails that Elon personally writes to the Tesla staff, even if these emails have already been leaked. Omar and Sawyer don't mind the unfollows. They will continue supporting Tesla, obviously, and Elon Musk. Omar also points out that he has been unfollowed maybe 3 or 4 times by Elon, so likely he will be followed back, I guess. And I just saw this. 2 key Tesla AI engineers just quit, angry that Elon unfollowed Omar and Sawyer. That's obviously a joke, but look, it worked. Fine, I will follow them again, says Elon. A happy ending. Today, we also received a report that Tesla's senior HR director is no longer at Tesla. It's not clear whether that person was fired, laid off, or that person just left Tesla. I don't think it matters much in this case because Elon has clearly upset some people already, and it's not anything that we didn't know about already. IF Metal blinks again in Tesla strike in Sweden. According to a report from a local publication, Tesla certified repair facilities will be allowed to resume work at Tesla vehicles starting today, on May 1st. While it is another concession, there will be certain exceptions. The union says that repairs will still be prohibited on vehicles owned by Tesla, those with transport damage, and cars under factory warranty. The easing of restrictions will now include repairs on crash-damaged vehicles, significantly reducing the backlog of work at about 80 affected damage and body shops. And then, if you remember, earlier this year, IF Metal made the first concession in the ongoing strike, temporarily allowing cars to be repaired at third-party shops. This exemption expired just before the announcement allowing Tesla-certified repair shops to resume work today. They are basically conceding. There's an observation about Tesla in China, specifically superchargers. Tesla superchargers in China have problems. The price is between 20 cents to 35 cents per kilowatt hour, which is cheap. But it is almost the most expensive option in China, which has led to a large number of Tesla owners choosing third-party fast charging options. Chris says the utilization rate of Tesla superchargers is extremely low in China. Secondly, many Chinese brands are building out fast charging stations on highways, but Tesla has not been doing so. Also, China doesn't really have V4 superchargers yet. Is that partially why Elon Musk supposedly laid off the entire supercharging team? Probably not. I think Tesla is thinking, well, if there are other good options for the Chinese customers in China already, how about we just focus a lot more on full self-driving right now? I also wonder if the local companies building out these superchargers, are they getting big government grants? Meaning they are able to build these networks out basically without making any money ever. And Tesla is not exactly in a business of never making a profit. Back to the US, Electric was told that Tesla backed out of 4 leases for upcoming supercharger locations in New York. These were new stations recently announced to address concerns with overcrowded supercharger stations in New York. There were some lines of people lining up for superchargers in New York, so this is not completely encouraging. The problem was partly due to a surge in Tesla vehicles used by Uber drivers due to a new incentive for the city to electrify its ride-sharing fleet. In order to address the situation, Tesla promised to deploy 100 additional chargers around New York City by the end of the year, and even work directly with Uber to gather data to locate the new stations at optimal locations. And these 4 new locations represented the bulk of these planned new stations in the city, and they are gone. 3 of the 4 sites were power ready, as some work was already being done to prepare them to become charging stations for Tesla. However, there's a company in New York which expressed interest in these locations, and that company operates its own fleet of electric taxis and charging stations. So maybe Tesla is going to change its model a little bit. Maybe Tesla is still going to build superchargers and then, for example, Me and you will be able to buy them if we have a business and put them wherever we want. Maybe, I'm not sure. But that would be a lot less capital intensive. So if these locations in New York City can be profitable, someone will do that and take this deal from Tesla, probably, if that's the new plan. I'm not sure. S&P Global has reaffirmed its BBB credit rating for Tesla. S&P said, we expect Tesla to maintain an adequate ratings cushion relative to investment-grade peers in 2024 and 25 amid downward pressure on its historically strong EBITDA margins and cash flows. Alexandra, who previously worked with some of these agencies, says this is still ridiculously too low. We are seeing positive reports from China. FSD beta started in China on April 30th, reportedly according to Tesla customers. So this is great news. And we got this really positive message about FSD. He's doing some testing, and this is good. I'm seriously running out of FSD challenges. FSD V12.3.6 is amazing. FSD has never been able to correctly complete these two maneuvers, causing interventions getting in the wrong lane or worse. I have tried these since the early days of FSD Beta 10, and recently I tested both on FSD supervised 12.3.5 with no luck. But the latest FSD version performed perfectly on both. The progress is amazing even for each of the point releases. Tesla Megapack factory in China is supposed to start now. I don't see the construction actually already starting yet. It just says that it should start this month. We got a spectacular update from Tesla. This change has been made over the air with a software update, and men especially will appreciate this greatly.
And I'm going to stick my banana in there. And the banana's intact.
Also, I need to actually say this, otherwise YouTube is going to demonetize this video. Do not stick your banana in there. This was a professional doing it, so do not attempt it at home, no matter the circumstances. And I personally already cannot wait for a comment from Siever Mark Ryan explaining how shorting Tesla stock can lead to the opposite of what was displayed. Steven just did a poll. When Tesla shareholder votes are tallied, what outcome do you expect? Number one, compensation ratified, or number two, compensation robbed? Most seem to expect that compensation is going to be ratified, but I wouldn't be complacent. We definitely need to vote. If everyone thinks that it is going to be ratified, then people will just not vote, which then could actually make the compensation not be ratified. So don't get complacent if you see a poll with results like this. Vote. AJ points out that to just maintain this gap in China of deliveries, next week Tesla needs to report just 5,900 vehicles. Personally, yesterday I really liked deliveries in China, but we are getting some reports from Europe. It's still a bit early, but we can look. And this is the first month of this quarter. This is Netherlands specifically. Multiple countries are out. Ideally, we would want to be above the previous first month. Or if we are not above that, then we certainly want to be above the previous year, which would be Q2 of 2023. And in Netherlands, we are definitely above that number. In France, which is an important market for Tesla, we are also beating the previous year, but not the previous quarter. Q4 was especially exceptional because there were a lot of government incentives that were ending, so that's why you see a rush here. And then we got Portugal, also below the previous quarter, but above the previous year. And then finally, there's Spain, and again, we are beating the previous year by quite a bit here, but not the previous quarter. So I wouldn't take it as good news or bad news. Officially, Tesla's referral program has just ended, but Elon did say that it will be revamped in a few months. Tesla debuted its new Model 3 Performance in China. How did someone get Tesla Cybertruck into Russia? This is in Moscow. Wow. I think Omar has summed up this week so far well. Monday, yeah, Tesla is taking over the world. FSD in China, everything's perfect. Tuesday, Elon has lost his mind. I heard they are shutting down the supercharger network. The roller coaster of sentiment among the moronic masses is entertaining to watch. I'm a long-term investor, so I just buy and then hold. This is not great for Polestar. It identified certain errors in historical 2021 and 2022 financial statements and is thus unable to file the 20F. If this Polestar chart was a mountain, I would have a lot of fun snowboarding downhill. BYD's revenue and net income dropped off a cliff in Q1 with 30% and 47% declines quarter on quarter respectively. So people are saying Tesla is actually looking strong, exactly what I have been saying before. I track global automakers and it's brutal out there. And there are some major differences between BYD and Tesla. BYD became cash flow negative again in Q1, losing $2.2 billion. Unlike Tesla's capital expenditure, BYD's capex is down year on year. And BYD wasn't spending $1 billion on an NVIDIA computer cluster. Hence, BYD's Q1 cash burn is objectively much worse than Tesla's. So it's not just Tesla having a tough quarter. So apparently, despite BYD's significant 2023 growth, growing from 2.1 vehicles produced to 3.1 million vehicles produced, BYD failed to generate capital efficiencies. So seeing these numbers, is BYD making any profit from BEVs? Because they combined hybrids and BEVs into one, so we don't really know what's going on. That's it for today's video. Make sure to click the like button so that we can make sure that there's no shadow ban on this channel. Here's another video from my other channel showing that it's only getting about half of the views it would normally get because my videos are only shown to about 50% of the regular viewers in the first few days. And then after the first 3 days, it does push it out a little bit more, but because it's no longer news, it's old, no one's interested. So I appreciate everyone clicking the like button. That really helps. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt Posthues, and I will see you back in tomorrow's episode.